have covered niche issues, right? Like whenever we had to research for a subject in strategic affairs or national security, YouTube is the last source where you could check for such, policy information or insights. But then we would see your shows and we would be surprised, and also not so surprised, because we know that we can expect such quality from your show. And you've been a source of guidance to a lot of UPSC aspirants as well. I mean, how did this come about? I'm genuinely curious.
So the kind of topics that I take up, actually, I don't like to go with the flow. That's always been the case, with me all through life. I've always wanted to go against the current, swim against the current. And, these other issues, there is enough and more information about it any which ways. So you might as well take up issues where nobody is talking about it, because we are 1.3 billion people. So 130 crore people, everyone has to be catered to. So there'll never be a dearth of audience. There'll always be viewers. The focus has to be on good content. As long as your content is good, as long as you produce good content, nothing can stop you. So that has been the case with the kind of topics that I pick up, or the kind of issues that I touch. And with regards to UPSC aspirants, I realized, while I was working at Rajya Sabha TV, to be honest with you, I didn't know too much about the UPSC, or I didn't know too much about India's, civil service. Right. But while I was with Rajya Sabha TV, because of the kind of issues that I was taking up, because of the kind of shows that I was doing, several people reached out to me, and several youngsters came up to me, walked up to me, and, told me that I'm an inspiration. And in the beginning, I didn't take it seriously, because, there were a lot of people who walked up to me, recognized me when I was in Bangalore and when I was in News 9 as well. When we would go out for a meal, when me and my wife would go out for a meal, there would be so many people who would be like, pointing fingers and be like, oh, I know this guy, kind of a thing. But it was limited to that. There were several times where I had to wear caps and go out to the malls just so that I'm not recognized, because I didn't like the finger point. It's not like I was mobbed, but I didn't like the finger pointing. It just felt weird. Privacy. Yeah, not even privacy. It just felt weird. I mean, you don't want people pointing fingers at you. So, but with Rajya Sabha TV, I must say, it's next level. I don't know what to call it. Adoration, adulation, I don't know. There was, I went to Varanasi recently, and where I'd walked into BHU, there were so many people in line who were coming and touching my feet. And it was surreal, to be honest with you, and then I started accepting it, and then I started genuinely blessing all of them also, because I know that is part of our culture. I know that is part of our sanskara. So I started doing that, and so many people would come up to me and say, sir, you're like Dronacharya to us. Sir, you're our guru. Sir, you're, all these things. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but this actually happened. And most of them were preparing for UPSC. And then I realized the kind of impact that I was having on their lives. And I realized how people are looking up to me. That is when I decided I need to do something for them. That is when I decided that, if the youth is channelized, if the youth is taken in the right direction, if the youth is told about who they are and where they come from, they can make Bharata a much better place and make Bharata truly great again. It is not copied from Trump, but we were a great people. We are a great nation. We are the center of knowledge. We are the center of higher learning. It is because of this that Nalanda burned for 6 months. Because the kind of knowledge we possess and the kind of knowledge we have, no one else has, and everyone is jealous of it, and nobody wants us to progress. Right. So this is what I wanted to take to the youth. This is what I wanted to enlighten in them. And I'm so happy to see the number of people who are interested in Indic causes, people who are interested in culture, people who are interested and want to understand. That yearning to learn about who we are and where we come from is there in our youth today. And it's so heartening to see that. And that is why I decided to take this up a notch and decided to start something like, on the lines of Bharata First Knowledge Center as well. The Knowledge Center is mainly for competitive exams and for students who can participate, who want to, go into competitive exams. And the way I teach is very different. It's basically mixing our ancient knowledge or ancient wisdom with modern sciences. And that is how I take it forward. And nobody else teaches the way I do. And nobody else has seen this as well. And this, the kind of response, the kind of testimonials that I've received from the Knowledge Center is phenomenal. People may ask, why don't you do it for free? Nothing comes for free in this world. Even the Vidya that was imparted by the Rishis, they took a Guru Dakshina.
Yes.
If you give it for free, it will have no value.
Right.
That's why it is nominally priced as well, so that everybody can afford it. Everybody can get so much out of it. And the amount that you're actually extracting out of it, it's not just for your competitive exams, but it is helping you to be a better Bharatiya and to be better prepared for life.
Right.
10 lakh people write the UPSC every year. There are only 700 who get in. What are the others going to do? They too need to be taught something.
Right.
So it's a holistic learning experience, and that is what I'm focusing on now. And there are so many other things that I want to do. For instance, you're asking me before, whether I'm based out of Noida or whether I'm based, where am I based out of, whether I'm based out of Bangalore, right? So, I mean, I didn't mention it at that point in time, but I think I should mention it now. I'm actually going to be relocating for at least 7 months in a year. I want to be, not want to, I'm going to Hampi. The new district that has been carved out now is Vijayanagara. That is where I'm going to go, and I'm going to be based out of there, because Vijayanagara is a Samrajya that was built on Sanatana.
Yes.
And it all began in Hampi. It all began with Hakka, Bukka and Vidyaranya. And that is what I want to take forward. Lord Rama, in his quest, since it's, Dasara time as well, let's talk about this too. Lord Rama, in his quest to defeat Ravana, started walking from Ayodhya, right? Started walking, trying to get support, trying to get somebody who can, help him in his battle. He didn't get support till he reached Hampi. It was in Hampi when Lord Hanuman, Sugriva and others came to his aid and said that we will help you. There is a cave temple, cave shrine in Hampi, where Mahadev, Lord Shiva, meditated for thousands of years. It is the same place that Lord Rama went and meditated for 4 months before he finally made that journey to Lanka.
Yes.
It is also the birthplace of Lord Hanuman. So it has spirituality, it has history. And Hampi, not just by our accounts, Hampi, by the accounts of foreign travelers, was the greatest city that they had ever seen. And look at what it has been brought down to by the invaders. It was the sultanates who joined and combined their forces together that decided to destroy the kingdom of Vijayanagara, or the empire of Vijayanagara. And Vijayanagara burned for over 6 months again. That was the kind, and looted, plundered for over 6 months as well, because that was the kind of wealth that Vijayanagara had. And all because they were true Sanatanis and nothing else. And they took forward the essence of Bharata and Mahabharati. Their war cry also was Jai Rajesh, Raja Rajeshwari, right? So it was invoking the spirit of Lalita Mahatripura Sinduri, and invoking that spirit and taking it forward is what they did. So that's why they were so successful. So if we can do that, imagine what we can do. There is a need to retell history because of the new facts and new information that has come out. Unfortunately, it is not there in our textbooks, and it is going to take some time. I understand that the national education policy is there. I understand that we have it, and I understand that, we are trying to change this aspect. But the proof of the pudding is in its eating. So until it is implemented in the right way, we don't know which way it is going to go. So we have to wait and see how it is implemented. I don't want to wait for another 30 years. I'm going to be an old man. I want to do it right now. So I'm going to be moving to Hampi, and I'm going to be telling the real stories of Bharata, so that people like you, me, and everybody else gets to know the true essence of Bharata and understand what really Bharatiyata means. That is the
Good
idea.
luck with that, sir. I mean, I'm really excited to know about this. And in fact, this is the first time that I've heard this from you personally. So I'm sure people from Karnataka especially will be extremely excited because moving back to Bangalore makes a lot of sense. But moving to Hampi, nobody even imagined about this. And the kind of seva that you're doing is absolutely admirable. And I think you are contributing in a major way to Indic Renaissance, if I may add.
I
Now,
don't like the word Indic Renaissance though, but you know why? Not
right.
because of anything else. The same way why I don't like India. I mean, it's not like I don't like India,
Yes,
but
it's an English word. Yes.
yeah, its origins are from Greece.
Yes.
Renaissance too doesn't have anything to do with Bharata. The same way, if I may add here, I don't know how people will take it, but I'm going to say it anyways. You know, I have a problem with the word Hindustan as well, because who gave this? Who gave this? Who coined this word Hindu? And where does it come from? It comes from the Indus River or Sindhu River, and the Persians couldn't say Sindhu, so they started saying Hindu.
Yes.
So it's Hindu has nothing to do with Bharata. Hindu is a Persian term which was given to us, and today we fight over it.
Yes.
When Bharata is there in the constitution, or when Bharat is, if you don't want to say Bharata, if you don't want to Sanskritize it, you make it Hindi, no problem. Call it Bharat. What's the problem?
Yes.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.